With the House at a standstill and the government in a bind, speculation Parliament could be suspended is growing. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland and House Leader Karina Gold insist prorogation is not on the table, but that decision ultimately lies with the Prime Minister. The prospect of prorogation this time around invokes memories of Prime Minister Stephen Harper in 2008 when, faced with a looming confidence vote and an emerging rival coalition government, he prorogued Parliament for 53 days. The move killed the rival coalition and saved his government. Gilles Duceppe was the leader of the Bloc Québécois when that happened and experienced the politics of it all, of course, firsthand. Hi, Mr. Duceppe. Such a pleasure to see you as always. Thank you for making the time.
It's a pleasure.
Before we talk about the prospect of prorogation, I just interviewed Minister Stephen Guilbeault, the Environment Minister, who, of course, is a minister who also represents Quebec. I asked him about what the Bloc has said around their ultimatum with old age security in particular and the boost that they want to see. I'll just tell you exactly what he said. We're not going to be held hostage simply to extend the life of our government to do something that makes absolutely no sense from a fiscal and from a social point of view. He was unequivocal, unlike, you know, for example, Government House Leader Karina Gold, who says there are discussions going on and everything. He says, no way, no how. What is your reaction to that?
Well, if it's like that, we'll have an election because the Bloc has been very clear on that. The ultimatum is there. If they don't say yes and move before October 29, then the Bloc won't vote confidence in that government anymore. So we'll see what will happen. But it's very clear, and the Bloc won't change its mind on that. That's for sure.
Given that, what is your assessment of the likelihood or the possibility of the Prime Minister ultimately proroguing?
Well, it is possible because when you look at the Liberals are behind in each provinces. In the rest of Canada, Poilievre and the Tories have a huge lead, and in Quebec it's the Bloc. So I don't know what they will do. If they prorogue, they will have to come with a speech from the throne and a new budget also. So it means they have to have a support for the speech of the throne. Will the NDP support them or not? That we'll see. But the Bloc won't support them. That's obvious. And same thing on a budget, because the Bloc has been very clear. If they don't vote yes and make law of the two votes they took before on the supply management and on the old age pension, a pension for the old age people, so there won't be any more support for the Liberals. So, and they're well behind in Quebec, and well behind the Bloc. And and will they have a new leader? I don't see many people interested of leading a party which is almost sure to lose next election.
And do you think that the Bloc is, I guess, ready if they had to? I take your point on sort of where things stand right now in the province of Quebec, but should there be an election sooner rather than later? Is it your view that the Bloc is prepared to go there? And by that I mean, should we take their deadline very seriously and their ultimatum?
The Bloc's ready. The Bloc's ready. They're organized. They have candidates, new candidates. One we've seen this last week, Mr. Bonin from Greenpeace, running now for the Bloc in Repentigny. So they will announce other people running for them in the next few days, and they're well prepared in all regions in each riding. So if the Liberals want an election, they will have it.
Do you think that it doesn't seem like they want one, which is why the comments from Minister Guilbeault were of interest to me. And I wonder, he says, for example, that they're willing to work with the Bloc on other measures to help seniors. Do you think you think it's black and white?
No, they voted in favor of that. So how come they're changing their mind now? So they just have to respect the vote they took before, and the same thing on supply management. And if they don't agree, if they don't move, the Bloc will never give their support to a confidence vote for the Liberals. That's for sure. The NDP will never know.
And this is true. And when it comes to the situation in Quebec right now, I'm wondering, when you look at, in particular, how the Liberals, I mean, they're still doing better in Quebec than they are in the rest of Canada, relatively speaking, but that's, as you pointed out, the Bloc is still ahead of them provincially. What do you attribute to their sort of falling popularity in the province?
Well, we have to look at the support among the French population. There's I think they're at 35, and the Liberals have 28, something like that. But among the French population, the Bloc's over 40%, so that means a lot of riding. You can win westbound with 90%, it give you only one riding. So the Bloc's well ahead, and I think because they respect what they said to the people. Well, when the Bloc is saying something, we're expecting the engagement we took. It's not the case with the Liberal at all. Just look at supply management now. They voted, they denouncing what the Senate is doing, but they're not acting at all.
Do you think if the Liberals try to essentially save their government by proroguing, they will ultimately be punished for that? Like, given the experience that everyone lived through in 2008, do you think it matters to voters?
Maybe they want, if they prorogue, it means they want to be in government for Christmas. But that'd be their last Christmas.
Okay, I'm going to leave it on that note. Mr. Duceppe, a pleasure as always to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.